Back after game 4 and 5. Both were major victories. The first one I played the Ruffian Army. I believe his name was Roy. And he had 107 Ruffians, Sharky and Worm, so 109 models. It was seize the prize. So I moved forward, got my goats in. Pretty much I then grabbed the prize, handed it to Dane, handed it to Thror over a couple turns, and just pushed forward. So that Thror ended up being on that side of the objective. But it was one of the funniest games that I have done. Like, it was so funny. So funny because there were parts, and I'll put some pictures up of this, where this dwarf like then climbed up a ladder and was on the other side of like a walkway to a ruffian who climbed up the ladder, because there were two buildings on either side where the objective was, so my dwarves were able to like castle inside of that. And so he threw a weapon, killed a guy, went in, threw a weapon, killed a guy, and he ended up killing 3 guys with his throwing weapon. And it was like old western shootout, and we were having a laugh. He killed about as many of his own guys as he killed of my guys. And then I killed a bunch of guys as well. But he ended up killing 2 of my dwarves with his throwing whips. And I think 1 or 2 fell with his archers, but it was like 8, somewhere between 6 and 8 of his own guys. But yeah, it was fun. And yeah, we just were laughing the whole game. There was one part where I rolled for Dane. I rolled 4 dice, got 4 twos. And then he rolled 1 2, and so Dane beat the ruffian. But Dane spent a lot of time either transfixed or stunned that game because he had Sharky. And so yeah, that was really fun. And yeah, I gave him my favorite army vote because it was just a fun army. And it's just so many models. And yeah, so we get into game 5, so that was the last game of Saturday. First game of Sunday was game 5. So I went and I was playing Alex Dubois, who's from the New England group. I looked across the board and I saw another Last Alliance army, but this time he had Elendil on a horse. No Gil-galad, but the twins. So I'm like, oh boy. So what happens, he deploys some guys forward, and I'm like, okay, one way I'm doing this is by playing super aggressive. And so I put all my guys up. I pretty much got so that Dane was in there. And he kind of gave himself a hard deployment where Elendil had to, like, pretty much he could only charge Dane unless he fell back with some of his other guys, which probably would have worked better, but he charged him with Dane with Elendil. Thrain charged Elendil, got some guys. Elendil won that combat, did a wound to Dane. Next turn, I won the heroic move off, got into Elendil with Dane and Thrain, because I had called 2 strikes, and I didn't get to fight 10 the first time. He got to fight 10, but he had to burn a might to win the fight. We both burned a might to get to a 6, and then he burned a... And so he had 1 left, then Dane, and then we both rolled a 6. He actually bannered the 6, I believe. And so we both got to fight 10 the second time. And so what Dane did was pretty much, Dane then won, so we then won the fight and then killed him because we had gotten dwarf behind some Numenorians to trap them. And from that out, Dane then went on the twins who were out going for one of my rear objectives. It was domination, sorry. But yeah, so Dane went back there. He had to call March just to not charge a random Numenorian in the center. And so I ended up I sent a goat to the side and then back with some other guys I sent to the side. So I had 2 uncontested objectives at the end. And then there was a ruin that I was almost able to kill them all, but didn't kill 1 elf. So he had 1 guy and I had like tons. And then there was Eladan or over here. I can't remember which it was. But who was sitting on one of my objectives that I had more, and I had more guys in the center, but he had a good few by the time he was 25. So I ended up getting 2 full controls, 3 minor controls, broke him and killed his general, so that was 9-0 in my favor. So I've now won 4 games, which was my goal, to win more games than I lost. I'm going into 5, so I've met my goal. I'd like to win a 5th game, but if I don't, I don't. And so yeah. Going into Game 5. Back, Wargamers, after Game 5, as well as the prize ceremony. Well, the winners are getting their prizes, so, spoiler, I didn't win. Which is not really that much of a spoiler, but anyway. Yes. So, Game 5 was Lords of Battle. I was playing against Jesse with his elf army. And so he was backing away. I'm like, I can do this. I can get into combat, probably kill enough guys. While here worried me. But he kept moving back, and then I'm going to march into his face with Dane. Dane got transfixed by Galadriel. I have not succeeded in any cut resist rolls. Other than the highest resist roll I've gotten was a 5 when I needed a 6. And otherwise it's a 4 or lower that have been all my resist rolls. And I resisted one spell in this entire tournament and that was with a point of might. So just spells did not go off, or did go off, hurt me. And so pretty much, I guess someone got a wooden spoon. But yeah, so pretty much he kept running away. Gwahir got in, nearly killed Thror, burned all his might. Thrain tried to get into Gwahir, burned all his might trying to do that. Didn't damage Gwahir. So pretty much at that point, Dane kept getting transfixed. He kept running away with heroic moves. I couldn't catch him, and I got 12 wounds on him, and he got 24 on me. Broke me in the last turn, or second last turn. Like, by 1 or 2 models he broke me. And I actually did wound Gwahir because one Plucky Iron Hills guy who had been charged won the fight against Gwahir, wounded him, and Gwahir failed all 3 fate. But yeah, I ended up losing 9-1, so... Yeah, we both admitted it was really not a fun game to play for me, but it was the only way he could win, so I guess that's how it works. And yeah, so I end up with 4 wins, 3 of them major, and then 1 minor win, and then 2 major losses. And that was the Nova Open 2019. And yeah, I'll have the award ceremony posted in a separate video, or maybe this video. So be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And du Bekar.